Welcome to the Explainer. As the year starts to wind down, a lot of us are taking a hard look at our investment portfolios. But what if I told you there's a really powerful tax strategy out there that actually lets you find an advantage in your losing investments? I know, it sounds a little backwards, but trust me, it's one of the smartest tools you can have in your financial toolkit.
So, our source material for this kicks off with this really interesting idea. You need to become an ethical millionaire. Now, you're probably thinking, what in the world does that have to do with a tax strategy? Well, the core idea here is all about being smart and proactive with your money, right? It's not just about letting things happen. It's about taking active, intelligent steps to manage your wealth. And that is exactly what we're talking about today.
And that tool has a name. It's called loss harvesting. And yeah, I get it. The name sounds kind of negative. I mean, who wants to harvest a loss? But stick with me here, because this is one of the very few strategies that lets you turn a financial downer into a real, tangible tax benefit.
Now, you might be thinking this is going to require some kind of Wall Street wizardry, but our source actually says the opposite. The action itself, it's simple, almost like flipping a switch. The real work is in the planning. It's not about complex mechanics, it's all about being thoughtful with your strategy.
Okay, so to really understand how this all works, we have to get our heads around one core principle that pretty much governs investing taxes. It's all about the difference between what's happening on paper and what the IRS considers real money. So think about the stocks and bonds you might have in your portfolio. The tax authorities, they're watching, sure, but they only really care about your gains or your losses at one very, very specific moment. All those daily ups and downs you see on your statement, as far as your taxes are concerned, that's all just noise. Until you make a move. This right here, this is the single most important rule you need to know. Let me just say it again, because it's that crucial. You do not have a taxable gain or a deductible loss until you sell. So that stock that's doubled in value, great, but you don't owe any tax on it yet. And that investment that's dropped, well, you don't get any tax benefit from that yet. It's all just potential until you hit that sell button. And that big distinction gives us two really important terms. Over on the left, you've got an unrealized loss. It's just on paper, right? It exists in your account, but you haven't done anything. But the second you sell it, as you can see on the right, it becomes a realized loss. That's when it's official. That's when it counts for taxes. This difference is the absolute key to the whole strategy. So, okay, we've got this difference between paper losses and real losses. Now, let's actually put that knowledge to work. Here's how we turn that principle into a powerful, actionable strategy. All right, after all that buildup, let's just get right to the heart of it. What exactly is tax loss harvesting? How do you actually use an investment that's losing money to your advantage? Here you go. Tax loss harvesting is basically the intentional act of selling a losing investment to turn that paper loss into a real one. And here's the magic part. You can then take that loss and use it to cancel out taxable gains from your winners. Think about it. Let's say you have a $1,000 gain from selling stock A. If you sell stock B for a $1,000 loss, you can use that loss to wipe out the gain. And just like that, your $1,000 profit is effectively tax-free. Pretty cool, right? So we know what it is. We know why it's so incredibly useful. Now let's break down the how. And you'll see the process itself is surprisingly straightforward. It's really just 3 simple steps. Okay, let's walk through it together. Step 1, you look through your portfolio and you identify an investment that has an unrealized loss. Step 2, you act. You sell it, turning that paper loss into a real, official one. And finally, step 3, you apply it. Come tax time, that realized loss can lower or even completely eliminate the tax you owe on your gains. It's that simple. Identify, act, apply. But let's circle back to this for a second. The steps are simple, sure, but the overall strategy, remember, takes a little bit of thought because it's not just about randomly selling stuff that's down. You've got to decide which investment to sell, when is the best time to do it, and crucially, what you're going to do with that money afterwards to make sure you stay invested. The mechanics are easy. The art is in making those smart decisions. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. It's so easy to look at a losing investment and just see a red number on a screen, a mistake. But with a strategy like this, you can actually rewrite that story. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. What if you started looking at your portfolio's losses not as failures, but as untapped opportunities? What hidden potential is just waiting in there for you to unlock?